Okay, so Ramadan is right around the corner, and for so many of us, it can kind of feel like we're just falling into the same old routine. But what if this year could actually be different? In this explainer, we're going to explore how to break that cycle and make this a Ramadan that is truly, deeply transformative, one that actually lasts.
Let me ask you something, and be honest. Does this sound familiar? The holy month arrives, and boom, suddenly it feels like you're in a race against time. You have all these amazing intentions, but you end up just trying to keep your head above water.
And if you're nodding along, believe me, you are not alone. It's this constant pressure, right? You're scrambling to fix your sleep schedule, scrambling to finish the Quran, and all the while you're scrambling just to feel something, to have that connection. It happens because our entire lives get turned completely upside down overnight.
So let's reframe this whole thing. Why does this spiritual scramble happen year after year? It's almost never about a lack of desire or intention. No, more often than not, it's about the habits and the routines that we carry with us right up to that very first day of fasting. I mean, think about it. We spend 11 months building these routines, right? The late nights, the mindless scrolling on our phones, that daily coffee habit we can't live without. Then when Ramadan starts, we're not just fasting from food and water. We're suddenly trying to fight all these other habits at the exact same time. And that just drains the very energy we desperately need for our worship. But what if we completely reimagined Ramadan? What if we saw it not as this massive struggle, but as a perfectly designed system for real change? And to really get that, we have to look at its ultimate goal. You see, the Quran tells us that the whole reason we fast is to achieve taqwa. Now, taqwa is this beautiful, deep consciousness of God that guides everything we do. It's not just about saying no to food and drink. It's about purifying our soul and strengthening that inner moral compass.
And here is where the design of Ramadan gets absolutely fascinating, especially when you look at it through a modern lens. Modern psychology tells us that it takes, on average, about 30 days to really break a bad habit and form a new one that sticks. Does that sound familiar?
This is the genius of it all. That 30-day length isn't just some random number. It is the ideal time frame for a deep psychological reset. It's our annual chance to literally rewire our habits and come out on the other side with a renewed sense of purpose that can last a lifetime.
Okay, so how do we actually prepare for this annual reset? Well, the most powerful and impactful Ramadans don't just start on day one of the fast. Nope, they begin with the preparation that happens weeks or even months before.
This quote, it just shifts your perspective entirely, doesn't it? It reframes Ramadan not as this isolated event, but as a culmination, a peak. The journey to get there is just as important, and honestly, showing up prepared is the real key to unlocking its full potential.
And a simple blueprint can make all the difference. So, step 1, reflect and identify. Take a really honest look at your habits. What's actually holding you back? Step 2, set intentions. Get really clear and specific about your spiritual goals. What do you really want to achieve this month? And step 3, and this one is absolutely crucial, start small. Start making tiny, gradual changes before the month even begins.
So what does starting small actually look like in real life? Well, it's things like getting your body used to fasting now, with some voluntary fasts on Mondays and Thursdays. It means cutting down on that extra cup of coffee this week, not on day one of Ramadan when you're already struggling. By easing your body and your soul into the rhythm of the month, you can hit the ground running instead of just hitting a wall.
Now, with all that preparation in place, the month itself becomes less about that frantic struggle and so much more about balance. It allows us to have a Ramadan that's mindful and truly sustainable, even with our crazy, busy modern lives. It is so easy to fall into the trap of comparing our Ramadan to some Instagram perfect version we see online, right? But a realistic, blessed day, a day with real barakah, is all about quality over quantity. It's about finding those little pockets of time in your day, like your commute or your lunch break, and just filling them with remembrance.
A really powerful way to do this is with energy-based planning. You have to be honest with your body. Some days, you're going to have the energy for long prayers, for that super Muslim goal. But on other days, when that fatigue really hits, a simpler act, like listening to a great lecture or just quietly making dhikr, is every bit as valuable. The goal is always consistency, not perfection, and definitely not burnout.
And of course, we can't forget that our spiritual goals are supported by our physical health. Proper hydration is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to stay focused during the day.
The key is to sip water gradually between iftar and suhoor, not chug it all at once. And for that pre-dawn meal, suhoor, try to focus on slow digesting foods with fiber and protein. That's what's going to sustain your energy, not some huge heavy meal that just makes you feel sluggish.
Okay, so you've had this mindful, prepared Ramadan. Amazing! But how do you make sure this transformation isn't just a temporary high? How do you actually carry these new, better habits forward for the rest of the year?
Well, a key practice for this is something called muhasaba, which is basically nightly self-reflection. It's about taking just 5 minutes before you go to sleep to ask yourself, where did I succeed today? Where did I fall short? How can I be just a little bit better tomorrow? This simple act is what truly internalizes the lessons of the fast and changes our character for the long term.
And that right there is the true purpose. Ramadan is not the finish line. It's the launch pad. It's designed to equip you with the tools, the discipline, and that heightened awareness of God to live a more conscious and connected life for the next 11 months that follow.
So, I'll leave you with this one question. This Ramadan, with real preparation and real intention, this month can be so much more than just another fast. It can be the start of a profound and lasting change. The choice is yours.